Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. It is Wednesday afternoon, and we have to shut some journalists up and some legends of the game today, I think. I'm sure most of you guys would have seen already and heard about the news about Thomas Tuchel getting the England job, which obviously rules him out of him becoming the new Manchester United manager. And potentially means that Pep Guardiola is staying at Man City for another year as well, which isn't great in itself. So it's like a double sword in the back there. But there was an article coming out last night from the Mail Sport as soon as this news got announced. And there's been other reactions as well from Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher. And a few others, which I think kind of have some kind of undertones of xenophobia, if I'm honest. But we'll get into that in a moment. I just want to read this article out. Or not, it's not going to be the full article because, one, I don't want to give him that much kind of airtime. And two, I've just kind of taken the quotes out of it as well. And they're not taken out of context. You can literally read. I'll put the article on the screen for you to read if anyone does want to read it. To be honest, I should have done this just before I went live, but it's absolutely fine. I'll put it on the screen so you can, you know, I don't want people thinking I'm just taking the bad quotes or anything like that. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to make a point of it because I think it's absolutely ridiculous. So we'll bang that on the screen. I don't know if you'll be able to read it actually. Let me stretch it out, see if you can read that. I mean, it's not the best for the camera wise. What I might do is I defo should have done this before the finger, but we can just do that. So that's the first bit. And then what we can do is, because I'm an absolute wizard, we can do that again, and then we can bring it over here. But then this time, we could bring the article over fuller, and I can just bring that across. So then you've got a bit more kind of space to read it, if you can. So this is what we're looking at in a minute. Again, we're working with different angles and stuff here, but so have a read of that yourselves. Dive into that yourselves if you want. This was put out by the Mail Sport basically, and the actual journalist himself was too much of an absolute pussy to put his own name on it because he knew it was a hit piece and it was just absolute nonsense, and he was just doing it to trigger a reaction, which they're absolutely getting from me, but I don't care because it deserves it. I think it's utter nonsense, and I think there's a lot of kind of, like I said at the start, xenophobic undertones to this. But yeah, so there's a couple of lines out of it, and look, if you disagree with it, get involved in the chat, let me know why, we can have a back and forth on it. No issue with it whatsoever. So yeah, look, a dark day for England. 3 Lions gamble on a German. They then go on to praise Gareth Southgate, and they talk about Lee Carsley, who've done basically fuck all. I mean, Gareth Southgate, I'll get on to Southgate in a minute, I'll save myself. They then say Tuchel is a German with a questionable managerial background. Is he really the best we can do? Has no one learned from Sven and Capello? Insulting, ignorant, short-sighted. This is a dark day for English football. We are a laughing stock. I mean, there is so many things wrong with that, just off that small bit. And then there's other bits in there as well, which are just stupid. But look, some people might agree with this article. I really, really don't. How you can say about Thomas Tuchel that is this really the best we can do? So a man who's won league titles, cups, a Champions League runner-up with PSG, a Champions League with Chelsea, a Super Cup, a Club World Cup, 2 finals, and a DFB Pokal Cup with Borussia Dortmund. Is this the best that we can do? A guy who, by the way, outsmarted Pep in the Champions League final and won 1-0. Beat Man City in the final of the Champions League on the biggest, grandest stages with Chelsea to win a Champions League. But somehow is that the best we can do? But good old English Gaz from Watford, who was at Middlesbrough for 3 years with a 29% win rate, by the way, who eventually got relegated and sacked, is good enough for the job. But Tuchel isn't. So there's not a question here that we're comparing, you know, accolades in the game or their stamp or their imprint on the game. What it's become is what the passport says, basically. It's fucking nonsense. It's absolute nonsense, honestly. It's xenophobic. Like I said, the guy wouldn't even attach his name to the article because he knew it was a clickbait hit piece. And the only people who are unhappy about this are Nigel Farage sympathisers. I'm absolutely convinced of it. There has been plenty of examples before in an international tournament where a coach has been ahead of that team and they've done relatively well with them. One being Gus Hiddink. We all know Gus Hiddink is Dutch, right? Led South Korea to 4th place in 2002, which is an amazing achievement. They didn't win the tournament, they didn't win the World Cup, by God, because that's almost impossible to do with South Korea. but led him to a 4th place finish. You know who else? Do you remember when Greece won the Euros and they beat Portugal in the final? Do you know who the 2 managers were in that? So the manager of Greece was a German, Otto Rehagel. I can't even pronounce his second name. Otto Rehagel. He was German, who won the Euros. And then the guy who faced him in the final was Scolari, who's Brazilian. So this thing, that it has to be certain managers. Football is a global sport. How have we not learned that? It's 2024. It's a global sport. And to sit there and come out with some of the quotes, a dark day for England, praising Southgate, a German with a questionable managerial background. What is that? What's the questions? He's won stuff in the majority of places that he's been. We are heading into a World Cup now where we've just been in a final of the Euros and had just been in the final against Spain. Back-to-back finals in Euros, haven't we? So Italy, we lost, and then Spain, we lost as well. And then the World Cup, we got relatively far. And the manager couldn't get it over the line. You're bringing in someone who is a serial winner and has a fantastic record in knockout games. Look at Chelsea. We covered it when we were talking about Manchester United. A serial winner to come in and finally get the job done. I guarantee all these people like Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher and anyone else who's reacting say we should get an Englishman, and they're talking about managers like Eddie Howe, Graham Potter, Frank Lampard. Can you honestly sit there right now and say any of those managers you'd be absolutely confident in doing any better than Southgate? No, absolutely not. Will these people praise the life out of him if he goes and wins the World Cup in America with this squad, which is more than capable of doing, especially with the talent that he's got? I think this is going to be an absolute shock factor to a lot of people when he comes in and you see the level of talent and what he gets out of him. I'm not saying Southgate didn't get everything out of him, but this is a man who, you look at Cole Palmer for England, he got, 60 minutes or something in the whole of the Euros, or maybe it was a little bit more than that. Cole Palmer is probably arguably the best player in the world right now, or at least one of them, for what he's doing in the Prem. Outrageous. It's ridiculous. I never casted a shadow over what Gareth Southgate did in terms of what he did with the squad, and the harmony that he brought, and all that togetherness. That's fantastic, but that doesn't win you trophies. You've got that platform now, and you've got that build. You go and get someone like a Thomas Tuchel, and that's the next level that you need. It annoyed me when I was reading all this stuff coming out last night. I know everyone's got different visions and everyone's got different thoughts on it. I completely understand it, but for me, it pisses me off the more I see about it. Really, really does. Charlie Malman, Tuchel accepted the England job on the 8th of October, the same day as the meeting. Tuchel was wanted but never approached. I'm not really sure why we're calling it a snub. Tuchel accepted the England job on the 8th of October, the same day as the meeting. But is that facts or is that reports? Do you know what I mean? We can only go off reports that he snubbed United. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not saying that line isn't a fact. We do a news show that is reports. You know what I'm saying? Injuries. I'm going to talk about injuries in a moment. Afternoon, Nick. This is a late one. Yeah, I've been out this afternoon and morning for the majority of it. Been up since 9. I've been out, so I have to do a show, and I really wanted to talk about this as well. So glad to see you getting involved. Please do smash the like on the video. Lewis is saying Serena Wiegman won Euros with ladies. Don't get what the issue is here. Yeah, and she's Swedish or something, Swedish or German, I think. I didn't see anyone complaining about that. No one was moaning about that. Tuchel is mint, and he's a massive upgrade on Southgate. Germans have been light years ahead of English for decades with regards to football. Exactly. The media will haunt Tuchel, and that's my issue now. That's my issue with it, because there's already a target on his head. With people with such big platforms like Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher coming out and talking about it and saying, no, it should be an English manager. They genuinely said on this podcast that there was viable options there as a coach. Them three managers that they mentioned, Frank Lampard. What? You got into a World Cup and you want to get Frank fucking Lampard? Have you been watching football for the past couple of years? Graham Potter has won 1 Swedish Cup. You need a man to go in there with authority and to have trophies to back him up. And for players to be having conversations amongst themselves saying, what's he like? Who is it? Speaks to Mason Mount and others. Is he really strong? What do we expect? And all these kind of conversations that are ongoing in the dressing room. You want a guy to come in, and do we not, as a nation, want to win a fucking trophy? Do we not deserve one for how we've been playing? So for him to come in, and Gary Neville to sit there, who I absolutely adore and love and respect the majority of his views, to talk about Thomas Tuchel, to Frank Lampard, Graham Potter, who's won a Swedish Cup, and Eddie Howe, who's won nothing, apart from promotions, let's just say. You know, it's just it's baffling to me. It's absolutely baffling. I really, really don't understand it. And I think once you see when he comes in January, look, it's going to be an adaptation period. It's going to be different for him. I spoke about the comparison with Pep, with club management and international management. You have a pool of players to select from. You can't go and buy certain players that you want. Do you know what I mean? If he was to go in, like at Bayern Munich, for example, he went in, he didn't like Kimmich, he didn't really like Goretzka, who were like the traditional favourites there. So he was kind of, he got the transfer market to bring people in. Whereas with England, you've got a pool to select from. However, having said that, the pool that you've got to select from is pretty fucking good, isn't it? You go through the full squad of depth and you look at, right, okay, goalkeeper, Jordan Pickford's been class for us. Nick Pope's been, I think, pretty good for Newcastle. You know, Dean Henderson, Aaron Ramsdale are all right, decent level of quality. Going to the back line, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Kyle Walker's still there. Obviously, if Reece James gets back to fitness, I'm pretty sure he'd be favoured because he got the best out of Reece James, but injury issues, etc. Wan-Bissaka, I actually know he plays for Congo, doesn't he, I think. But you've got a depth of options at centre-back. You've still got Stones, Branthwaite, Gueye, Maguire's still there, Tamori, if you really wanted to bring him in. A left-back, obviously Shaw. Left-back's the one where I'm like, actually, Colwell maybe, Shaw, Chilwell. I don't know. That's a sticky one. But as you progress through the team and you get into the midfield options and the attacking options, whew, Bellingham, Foden, Rice, Palmer, Saka, Kane, even strikers that are even playing the team who are very talented, like your Ivan Toney's, who's probably messed it by going to Saudi. Anthony Gordon, Marcus Rashford, Jack Grealish, Angel Gomez, who's come into the team and looked really, really good recently. Like, I think he'll do a phenomenal job with this set of players. And I think he knows that. And I think that's why he's taken the job. And I'm gutted personally. You guys know, we've spoken about it before. I wanted Thomas Tuchel in at United. I think everything we crave right now, if you go run a list in your head, clean sheets, a decent European record, because we need to bounce back in there, and be hard to beat. Every single one of those three, factually, he has proven he's done at the majority of teams that he's gone to. Not only that, you look at big players in the world right now today, your Neymars, Mbappe's, whoever you want to go for, Ousmane Dembele, Mason Mount, all these guys, they have all had their best season under Thomas Tuchel. All of them. So I thought he was a perfect option to come in. He's everything we need at the minute. Ineos didn't pull the trigger. They missed the boat on that one, and now he's gone to England, and he's going to be there for at least 18 months, you would probably suggest. So, yeah. I mean, if you guys were happy to keep Lee Carsley there, let's give him a try. Let's see what he does. The same guy who was saying he don't really want the job in a press conference. Or you want to go and get Frank Lampard to take us to a World Cup because he might know a couple of the players and he's English. Fucking nonsense. Absolute nonsense. I might actually go and watch England now. Tuchel's in charge. I can drag my West Germany shirt out. You know what? There is a bit of beef between Germany and England for other reasons. But the shirts are always nice. I have to admit that. England approached Carlo Ancelotti before Tuchel. This comes from Gary Lineker and Alan Shearer. There we go. Amy Rourke, how are you? Nice to see your name. Welcome to the Real Reds Ultra. Thank you again for being a member. Just as I say your name there, it's like we're clicking a connection there, Amy. I hope you're well. Thank you for joining us. Morning, Red Devils. I'm thinking one of the Jurgis to replace Eric Ten Hag, Jurgen Love, or Jurg Klinsmann. Interesting. I was looking at Klinsmann the other day, actually, randomly, just kind of researching him. And we've got Richard as well, saying hello to Amy. So, yeah, let us know your thoughts. I know there's quite a few of you who's got your opinions in on this. Some of you might not be British. You know, even better, get your opinions in. As if, you know, let's say Amy, I think he was from America, right? If someone, I mean, you've had Poch come in. I didn't see the same uproar about Mauricio Pochettino. He's not American. He's, you know, he's from Argentina. And he's managing, I really don't get it. Really, really don't get it. But the kind of segue that we go into this with is, obviously, with him taking this job now, he's not the number one choice for United. Well, he was the number one choice, but now he's gone, and we've missed a boat. So, in recent weeks, and this is from Time Sports, Thomas Tuchel was made aware that he would be Manchester United's number one choice, number one target, to replace Eric Ten Hag. So, he was obviously keen on him. They had meetings with him before. We had prior knowledge to this. We've spoken about it so many times before. And now it looks like if Eric Ten Hag was to leave, it's probably going to be Ruud as an interim for the rest of the season, which I feel like you're writing off a season anyway. I can really see this season going a very similar way to last season, minus the trophy. That's what I think is going to happen. Because I think it's a mistake not bringing Tuchel in, first and foremost. A winner, great record in Europe, keeps clean sheets. Everything I referenced before. And you're banking on Ten Hag coming through after 3 seasons of trying with this team. I absolutely want to be wrong on this. I really, really do. And I hope I am. I just don't see it. I don't see him turning it around. And it's a struggle. We'll probably have to endure another season like we did. And it's really, really unfortunate because I thought we could turn it around. There was so much positivity with Ineos, you know, when they first came in, over the summer. But yeah, they've made the decision. It's a strong decision. It's an unpopular decision, much like the Fergie one is. Much like the stacking the staff, the 250 staff. They better hope they get it right. Because everyone's putting all this faith and trust in Ineos. Don't forget, Ineos went in at Nice. And if you've done your research and you look at how the project was going there and how many different managers they sacked and how many board members they sacked and all this kind of stuff and the transfer policy that they had, the players that they was bringing in, it weren't great. It weren't great. So I feel like a lot of people are putting blind faith in Ineos to be like the saviour and, now Ineos are in, we're definitely going to turn it around. Don't work like that. Does not work like that. So I wish him good luck. But whilst we're on the topic of luck, we've got some more bad luck. I don't know if any of you guys have heard, but Manuel Ugarte is injured. He got taken off in the 82nd minute last night, I think it was. It's going to be assessed to see what it is, like the actual specific problem. But yeah, he had a World Cup qualifying draw against Ecuador. And there was reported a pain in his right leg, forcing his withdrawal on the 82nd minute. So as we are trying to slowly integrate him into the team, now it's like a red flag. He's injured. Hopefully it's not a long one, but even if it is a couple of weeks, it's another setback. And that makes it Euro's still not available. Mount's just coming back into training. Shaw's still not available. Malacia is still not available. Which, injury issues again. Right now, there are holes in Ineos' boat. They're starting to sink. Since they did not remove our worst manager ever, I'm losing faith in them quickly. And people will do. And the longer time goes on, the more weeks they wait, and the more bad performances they get, the more pressure there's going to be on them. Because it was all this positive PR and amazingness. Oh, thank God. We've had this fucking hangover of the Glazers for years. This is amazing. Ineos are coming in. They're getting proper people in the right place and structure. And they are going to need time. I will say that. But time is ongoing, They've had a bit of time to work in. You could say so far, has much changed in terms of results on the pitch and recruitment? There's still a lot of question marks for me personally. So, as a United fan right now, I sit here and I look at the results that we're going in, the fixtures, that we're going into. Is anyone in this chat right now confident that we're going to go to Brentford and beat them? In which case, have you seen where we are in the league? Yeah, 14th in the league right now. Brentford are above us. Let's take a look at this league table, actually. Let's pull it up. Right. So, because I want to see how many points. Brentford are currently on 10 points in 11th. We are on 8 points in 14th. If Brentford beat us, which is definitely a possibility, they go 5 points ahead of us, and we probably drop down to 16th, 17th. How on earth are you keeping a manager of Manchester United in that situation? It's craziness. Absolutely craziness. Are we not hosting Brentford? You're right. Yeah, we're playing at Old Trafford. Yeah. When we're bottom come December, Ineos might actually get some balls and remove him. I'm having a tenner on Brentford to score within the first 10 minutes. I wouldn't blame you. We got Brentford at home, so we should have a fair chance, but I thought that was against Liverpool and Spurs, and we lost those games 3-0. Yeah, we got a tough run of it. Well, it's a favourable on paper run of fixtures, but the way we've been playing, drawing to FC20, drawing to Porto, capitulating in the way that we have been doing, I mean, none of these games are safe, really. Brentford at home, tough. Fenerbahce away against Mourinho, tough. West Ham away, tough. They just got their first, started winning, beat Ipswich 4-1. Leicester in the Cup, that's probably the only one where you should win that, but then Sneeze Scoop has started winning as well. Chelsea at home, there's going to be so many narratives going into that one. Maresca's only been there a couple of months, Jadon Sancho, blah, blah, blah. POAK at home, again, you think you should win that in the Europa League, get your first 3 points, but SC20 drew against us and they're the lowest ranked team in the competition. So in reality, going through all these teams, you're like, it's a favourable run on paper, but then you start getting into like December, we play Arsenal, we play Forest, we play Man City, we play Wolves, we play Newcastle, and we play Liverpool. If now's the time when they should be getting points, like based off the quality of squad that we have, now is the time where you should be picking up points against these teams. If you wait and wait and wait and wait and wait, and then you get to December, and then you make the manager change, and you play Arsenal, City, Newcastle, use your brain, innit? Use your brain. Gamer TV says it's pathetic. We're going to get cooked on Saturday. Thank you for joining us, Gamer. By the way, we are currently on 7,187 subscribers. So if there is anyone new in the chat and you're not subscribed to the channel, it takes 2 seconds. Please just click it in the bottom right-hand corner. We're trying to hit 7,200 by tonight. That would be great. We will rock out CCX win Saturday. Charlie saying Frank has been taking Erik ten Hag to school. We do have a few inquiries now, so this will be the excuse again. Thomas Frank's a great coach. I dismissed him last season, and it was wrong with me. And I will be the first person to say I was wrong about him. He's a good coach. He's done phenomenally well with Brentford to keep him competing with the team that they've got, the budget that they've got, the style that they play. I really, really like him, and he comes across well as well. When he was doing like the analysis for the Euros in Germany, yeah. Really, really good. More and more updates coming at the moment. Erik ten Hag knows he must oversee an immediate improvement in results and performances if he is to keep his job beyond the next international break. So, obviously, he knows this. There's a lot of pressure. And United don't. United players currently at the minute don't do well under pressure. They really don't. No disrespect to the opposition. This is from Lucky Singh to the team, but we will win. So he's confident of beating Brentford, apparently. We won't beat Brentford, no chance. Nick, if we win on Saturday, I'll drink 40 pints of Guinness. So just a normal Saturday, really. There we go. Enjoy yourself, Richard, as always. Stay safe. Play the kids. Playing for the team equals win. Well, it's interesting, isn't it? We're going to do the Brentford preview tomorrow night. So please do join us for that, because I'd love to get as many of your opinions in there as possible. And there should be a show tonight. I think I'm in work, so I'm hosting at 5s again. It's like a new kind of project, which is exciting, but we need to figure out the times when we can. I might go live again at 6 potentially, depending on news, and do something different. If not, there might be a late night live. Either way, so yeah, had to do a show. I know it's we're talking like 3:20 now, or 3:30, is it something like that? I know we missed the afternoon show, 12 o'clock, but I wanted to do this because I wanted to discuss the situation, because I think it's been some stupid takes on it, just in my personal opinion. But yeah, leave your thoughts about Thomas Tuchel as England manager. What do you think is in store for the next couple of games for Manchester United? Smash the like on the video, and I'll check you absolute legends out in a few hours' time, yeah?